Welcome back to the Blue, Albertson Stadium, home of your Boise State Broncos, the bastion of Bronco Nation, a field of dreams where greatness has become a tradition. Whether you're new to Idaho and this is your first game, or your family has had season tickets for 3 generations, Lithia Ford of Boise wants you to know you're welcome here.
Well, greetings, Boise State fans. Not good news today. Boise State, this is the Lithia Ford of Boise, Idaho Central Credit Union pregame show, but there is no pregame show. Boise State at Wyoming is postponed due to COVID concerns within the Boise State program. The news coming less than 30 minutes prior to tip-off, and kind enough to join us to talk about this. We'll make him full screen here. Chris Lewis. Chris, you were set to be on the call for CBS Sports Network for this game. Tell us kind of what you can in terms of you got to the arena, the scene, or just let us know from your perspective what happened and why there's no basketball today.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really get into the why too much. I mean, I just got to know what was publicly out there, especially when the Mountain West released that statement saying the game was off. But, just being at the arena, typically I am, an hour and a half before the game. And, you're getting there to go through all the pregame stuff and, go through reads and making sure that your prep is okay. And when you're getting closer to an hour before the game, like you're used to seeing the other team there. And like, that's when you just started to get a little worried when, you're an hour before and, Boise State's not there yet. And now you're 50 minutes before and you're still not seeing them. And, you're starting to, the environment that you're in. So you start to get nervous in that way. And, before you knew it, word started to pass that, the Mountain West made their announcement, and then we're all dressed up with no place to go on New Year's Day. I guess maybe other people have that feeling typically on New Year's Day too.
So you had you got to the arena, did all your prep, and for you it was a normal. There was no questions or concerns. You were just ready to go, and then, like you said, you just noticed Boise State wasn't there.
Yeah, I was ready to go. There was nothing that was odd or off about this game. Both teams playing good ball, ready to go. Excited about the game, especially for me. I was excited. I mean, getting to be on the CBS Sports Network call for a Boise State event, like that's kind of cool for me, just given the story of, working with Boise State athletics. So that would have been cool, but unfortunately didn't happen this time. Hopefully at some point down the line, I'll get that chance.
I did want to ask you about that. You go all the way to Laramie, you have all the ties to Boise, doing a lot of the Olympic sports and the women's basketball games, and you've filled in on the men's games before on the radio side and stuff. I mean, what personally for you, this had to be an exciting moment, and how much more does this, stink that you're there and at the arena, and this was going to be a big moment for you in your career calling this game, and then, 25 minutes prior to tip-off, it gets banged.
Yeah, I was hyped, man. I was hyped. I was ready to go. It was be a unique challenge too, because I'm just so used to calling events from a Boise State perspective, because usually the events I'm calling with Boise State are for a Boise State audience. So that would have been a fun challenge and something different. But, can't always get what you want these days, especially with the environment that we're in. So I'm actually, the funny thing about it is Boise State women's basketball is scheduled to play here on the 3rd. So, I was scheduled to stay here anyway until, the women's game that I was going to call. That's still on, so hopefully that can get played, and I'll just stay in Laramie for a couple of days, and it just turns it into a longer trip for only one game instead of a longer trip for 2.
Knowing this Boise State program like you do, what do you think? They were obviously 10-4, had won 7 games in a row. I mean, what's we don't know what's going to happen here moving forward, how many games might be affected, but what are just your thoughts, big picture on this program now that they were playing well and have to have this pause?
Yeah, they always were good on defense. They started to put together some offensive good stretches, so I was looking forward to seeing how, they could continue to develop on that side of the ball while continuing their streak of not allowing a team to score more than 60 points. Like, that was something that I know the team was really proud of. And then, you've profiled it a lot on your site as well, just, how interested that this team was at playing defense when, especially close games down the stretch, they would hold teams to long scoring drives. Wyoming would have been a challenge in that because they're one of the better offenses. And you got the Jeff Linder, Leon Rice connection. So there was just so many fun stories that we're ready to dive into. And I couldn't wait to get the game going. But, maybe they'll get this thing rescheduled at some point and I'll be on the call for that one. You just never know. But disappointing is probably the best word for it.
final thing, Chris, we had a lot of folks jumping in late. Just so from your perspective, there was no whispers or nothing that was going on. You were at the game, ready to go, had your show sheet there. You're probably doing your pregame, recordings and stuff, and then you just noticed Boise State never showed up. Simple as that.
Yeah, I was going through the pregame reads like I always do, just looking over the spotting boards, talking to the producer, talking to the director, and was ready to go. And saw Wyoming out there warming up. And as I said before, I usually get there about 90 minutes before. We're there early just to make sure everything with the prep is going okay. And you're just so used to seeing the other team arrive, whether it's an hour 15 before the game, an hour 10 minutes before the game, and you just didn't see anybody from Boise State, and an hour, and then you get to 50 minutes, and you're starting to worry. Okay, yeah, something's probably a bit off, and you're just waiting for word. And the position I'm in, I'm not like trying to hunt for information in the same way that you are. I'm just like, are we going to play or not? Like, am I going to be able to use all the prep or not? It really is. And it doesn't go anything beyond that. I know there's a lot of other people whose role is to just like search for the reasons why. I was just wanting, are we playing? Yes or no? Unfortunately, the answer turned into no.
Well, hopefully you're still getting paid for this. You made the trip. I hope you're getting paid for this, Chris. But disappointing for you. And again, just for all I know, Boise residents, we're excited for the game, but also just to hear you on the call, man. So from a personal standpoint, really sorry for you that this happened. And like you said, hopefully you get to get another Boise State game on the schedule here shortly, man. So happy New Year to you. Unfortunately, getting off to a rough start here, and we appreciate you coming on. And we'll be listening on the 3rd on the radio side for the women's game, man. Chris, really appreciate your time today.
All right. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
There he is, Chris Lewis. He was at the game. He was courtside. And again, he says Boise State did not show up. Boise State did not show up at the arena, according to Chris. If you want to get your comments or questions in, and Colin Mitchell is with me, our associate reporter, BroncoNationNews.com. And if Colin, somebody brought up just yesterday, it was announced that the Air Force at Fresno State game was canceled due to COVID concerns with Fresno. Boise State just played Fresno State on Tuesday night. You have to wonder if one way or the other, some player on one of the teams had COVID and gave it to a player on the other team. Now both teams that played in that game just a couple nights ago are out today due to COVID. So not a good situation, Colin.
Yeah, and you just got to think, how many guys was it? How long will they be out? There's a lot of really important games coming up, and you got to think down the stretch too. If these games are all postponed, how many games are they gonna have to play in 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks? And that stacks up on a team, especially with the rotation Boise's been putting out. But I mean, you just got to hope everyone's healthy, and yeah, that's about it.
The statement was released by the Mountain West less than 30 minutes prior to tip-off. So you're talking about fans already being in the arena. Chris was mentioning there that he's getting ready, and all of a sudden Boise State's just not showing up, and it's getting closer and closer to tip-off. The short statement from the Mountain West Conference said, due to COVID-19 related concerns within the Boise State men's basketball program, the game between the Broncos and Wyoming is scheduled for Saturday, January 1 in Laramie, Wyoming, has been postponed. If the game cannot be rescheduled, it will be declared a no contest. That is all we know at this point. Boise State has not made any statement themselves. They have not made Coach Leon Rice or anybody available for comment. So we really don't know. If you remember, Boise State, Fresno State last year got canceled because of a false positive. There was a false positive test last year, which forced a cancellation. So for Boise State's perspective, you can only hope that's the case because they got a quick turnaround, a game Tuesday in Laramie, and then a game Tuesday in Logan, Utah against Utah State. And then next Friday was the highly anticipated matchup with Colorado State, who was undefeated right now and ranked in the top 20. So we don't have much information at this point other than Boise State did take the charter, did get to Laramie. And as of even a couple hours ago, they were expecting to play this game because I had a text in about finding out what the post-game setup was going to be on Zoom and trying to do some of that. And there was still, nothing going on as of 8:30 this morning. So this is a late concern, less than 30 minutes prior to tip-off. Something happened that triggered this game not being able to be played. Boise State, as you heard from Chris Lewis, did not make it to the arena. So whatever the issue was, it happened, prior to them leaving. I don't know if they tested before they came or from the arena this morning or what. But again, no game today. Boise State at Wyoming is postponed. They're going to try to find a makeup game if they can. We got some comments rolling in. We'll try to play these. Come on. We got someone here saying lame. James, this really sucks for Nathaniel Wilder. Had a hunch this could happen. We played Wazoo about a week ago. Wazoo recently had to postpone some games also within their program. So that is 3 games, I guess, in a row. If you think about that. And then Fresno, not a good start to the 2022 calendar year. No, definitely not. And we got a lot of games coming in here. Not up on the COVID situation. Are these postponed games going to be made up? They will try. There's not a lot of time in the schedule. They might have to rearrange some games in the schedule to try to make this up. But they will try if they can. But last year they left an open week at the end of the season to make up some of these games. They did not do that this year. There is no extra time in the schedule. So you may have to bump some games around and move other games to make room for this one. Depends how it affects the standings. This was going to be a tough game for Boise State. It was a 1-point game at Ken Palm. It was a 1-point game in the betting line. Boise State coming in on a 7-game winning streak. Wyoming 11-2. This was going to be a really tough game for Boise State. So they had chartered there. They were on the ground. They were ready to play. As of this morning. Especially if Wyoming's there warming up. It's not like they knew the game was canceled, a while back. So we'll wait and try to get more information as to what happened. But this was going to be a tough game, Colin, and it was going to be a big game, and it's unfortunate we're not going to see it.
Yeah, it's definitely unfortunate. And you just got to, obviously, all the fans at home wanted to watch, and we wanted to cover it. But I definitely got a feel for the fans that actually showed up in Laramie today. Just an unfortunate situation, and we don't know behind the scenes exactly what happened or when the tests actually came back positive. If they obviously they did, but depending on what exactly happened with it, and once we get more information, obviously we'll tell you all about it.
Nathaniel chiming in again. We shall see if the game could be made up. We'll see how this could impact the road game at Utah State, the home game against Colorado State. That is that's where you kind of shift the focus to now. Again, at some point, Boise State will have to release some statement today. They haven't released anything. No one has been made available. That was just a quick statement from the Mountain West saying the game is off. So at some point, we hope to get a little more information today from Boise State, but that's where this kind of moves now as it spins forward to what happens from here. Again, Tuesday night, Boise State's supposed to be in Logan, Utah. Friday night, you're talking 2 games in the next 6 days that are, probably both in serious jeopardy right now of happening. And then if that happens, do you try to make those up? And what does that do to the competitive balance of the league standings here? If all of a sudden Boise State didn't have to play a road game at Wyoming and didn't have to play a road game at Utah State, this was going to be a really tough stretch for them. And, other teams in the league would sure like to see Boise State have to make those games up, I'm sure, by the end of the season. But we'll see what happens in terms of how much time is actually left to try to make that game up. So this is not a good situation for Boise State. You've got the football team already having the issue with the bowl game being canceled. The Boise State basketball team had avoided this issue up until now. But here we are. And as someone mentioned, there was COVID issues with Wazoo. And then you had the players go home for Christmas, and then now there's COVID issues with Fresno. So we don't really know where this started, what this is, and how many players are affected by this. If you're vaccinated, the contact tracing is not supposed to force you to miss any time. So, we'll see. I mean, we've been led to believe that most of Boise State's team is vaccinated. So, it's just so hard to speculate on this, and you don't want to speculate. But it's obviously not a good situation. It's obviously issue enough to force postponement of the game. Wyoming's tweet that I want to try to find Wyoming's tweet here. Tommy will get his comment up there on the screen. Wyoming's I guess Fresno State had a player out that game, 1 player out due to COVID in the Boise State game, and then they ended up having to go ahead and shut things down after that. Wyoming's basketball tweet, let's see if it pops up here. It said it was a late, I think the word they used was a late, let's see here.
Due to COVID-19 related concerns within the Boise State men's basketball program late this morning, today's game has been postponed.
Late this morning is what they're saying. So they were at the arena. Fans were at the arena. And again, everybody was at the arena except for Boise State. Looking forward to these games. Been a disappointment. It really has been a disappointment this year. This was actually scheduled to be the final road game of the season. that neither me or Colin was going to be at. So in a small way, thankful that we didn't pay the money to go to this game. But you're scheduled to be in Logan on Tuesday as I finish up my Hawaii vacation here, and then I was scheduled to be at every road game, or am scheduled to be at every road game the rest of the season after that. So this was actually the final game that neither one of us was going to be at. Get your comments in. If you have any other questions about what this means moving forward, how disappointed are you? Feel free to get your questions, your comments in. We're trying to effort more information while we're on the show here. Again, thank you to Lithia Ford of Boise. This is the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show here at Bronco Nation News, bronconationnews.com. The road trip is powered by Idaho Central Credit Union, so iccu.com for all of your banking needs. My family is making the switch as we speak over to ICCU, so go ahead and take advantage of the great services they offer. ICCU.com to find a location near you. A lot of the stuff for mortgages and things like that can be done online for the pre-approval. So thank you to Idaho Central Credit Union for powering our coverage here on the road, and Lithia Ford of Boise as well. Looking for that car or truck, Lithia Ford of Boise right there, and Boise is a great choice. They have a website also where you get more information online as well, and we appreciate both of them. And just not good, Colin. Not good news at all. And I was fired up for this game. I mean, I was thinking this was going to be a classic, game between two really good teams. And Boise State had been playing so well right now. And you do wonder what this means moving forward, because you hope it's a short pause. Because if this is an extended pause, it kind of kills a little bit of the momentum that they had going on.
Yeah, and you look at a team like Colorado State, they've been shut down since I think their game against Mississippi State. At least that's the last one I saw with them, and they've been down for a couple weeks now, and now they're extended even more. And you just don't want Boise State to get shut down and have other teams get it and get shut down for even 2-3 weeks. And it definitely can halt a team's momentum, that's for sure. And Boise State has all of that right now.
Yeah, not good at all. And again, if you have a question or comment, we'll get that on the screen. We're trying to effort more information as we speak here in terms of what's going on. Boise State will have to release some sort of statement at some point. They did that with the Fresno game when that got canceled. So we'll await some sort of statement, something from Boise State, whether it be a interview with Coach Rice or what's going on. But we're still breaking news. The game should have tipped off about 5 minutes ago. Maybe the saving grace is that Western Kentucky and La Tech is still going on with 5 seconds left. So some of the game may have been missed anyway. But just very disappointing. Boise State was on a 7-game winning streak, really playing well, and this was going to be a good road test for them to start 2022. So we've got a short story up on the site, bronconationnews.com. Again, the statement was pretty short from the Mountain West. It just said, due to COVID-19 related concerns within the Boise State men's basketball program, the game between the Broncos and Wyoming is scheduled for Saturday, January 1 in Laramie, Wyoming has been postponed. If the game cannot be rescheduled, it will be declared a no contest. And again, this came less than 30 minutes prior to tip-off. This is pretty rare, Colin. You don't usually see it when one team's at the arena warming up, the fans are at the arena warming up. Chris Lewis was ready to be on the call, and he notices, where's Boise State? They just didn't show up for this game. So something happened that kept them back at the hotel, some positive test, some worry that was enough for them to be unable to play. And it is concerning when you think that the last 2 games they've played now, both those teams are also on COVID pauses, Washington State and Fresno State.
Yeah, and you got to hope maybe they pulled out and just didn't want anything to spread further, or yeah, I mean, it's just tough to speculate. You want to assume more than one person had it with the game getting canceled, or even if one person gets it with traveling with the team. I'm not sure the exact protocol, how it works or anything, but you just got to hope it doesn't shut them down for a long time. And this actually reminds me of the UCLA NC State game where UCLA backed out a couple hours before, not 30 minutes, but yeah, I mean, just can't really speculate too much about it.
Get your questions in, get your comments in. I got a couple text messages from some friends I want to read. Quick thank you to our sponsors, the Blue and Orange Store. Appreciate their support there at Boise Town Square Mall. Get there and get all of your Boise State gear for the new year. Transportation Compliance Service, complete trucking compliance management. If you're looking to get into the trucking industry, 1,000 people a day get into the trucking industry, and you can they can help get you on the road and keep you on the road if you're looking to make that your career field. Ridley's Family Markets, shop Ridley's.com. They have locations all across the state of Idaho, as you can see there on the screen. United Commercial Insurance, their website, unitedcommercialinsurance.com. Business insurance. If you got a small business, any size business, you can get your business insurance, all the different liability insurance, workers' comp insurance, United Commercial Insurance. Boise Dentistry Co. as well. That's my family there on the screen, my 2 kids. They made the switch to Boise Dentistry. Dr. Chris Minert. Locations in Boise, Caldwell Mountain Home. You can get information there. Appreciate Matt Bauscher as well. Bauscher Real Estate. No one sold more homes in 2021 than Matt Bauscher. You can get information there at Bauscher Real Estate. I mentioned ICCU, ICCU.com. Appreciate their support of the program, and you can get more information at ICCU.com. And, of course, our title sponsor here, Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com, RowPaint.com, Power and People, Pride in Painting, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics. They've done some work on my basement, on my garage, my patio. They can take your ugly-looking concrete and make it look good, and they can do coatings. They can do residential painting inside your home, outside your home, whether it's industrial work. They can do that as well. So RowPaint.com. Appreciate their support of Bronco Nation News. And again, trying to get more information here as we find out what happened in this game. I did get a text message, and again, if you have some questions or comments, get them in. A friend of mine said, when it comes to COVID, what is going on with Boise State? Maybe just my perspective, but it seems like they've been more frustrating than any athletic department out there when it comes to COVID. And I did have a couple other people also reaching out on social media. Someone saying you should not be allowed to postpone a game this close to tip-off. Absolutely inexcusable. Someone saying, is it a forfeit for Boise State? No. We'll have to see here. I'm trying to find I had a text message here earlier, or a tweet. Someone basically also asking about that. What, it said they don't. It says death, taxes, and COVID with BSU teams. I don't see other Mountain West teams, football or basketball, having these issues. Maybe I'm missing it. Well, you are missing it. There's multiple Mountain West teams right now on COVID pauses. We mentioned Colorado State. They've been on one. You had San Jose State on one. I think Fresno's now on one. So there are multiple COVID issues going on with Mountain West teams. Kaysen saying here, the one positive of this, we might get it out of the way early. I don't know if that's a positive. Maybe I guess it is if you're getting it out of the way early. I don't know what you're getting out of the way. Again, we don't know if this is one player, if this is 5 players, if this is the whole team. We really have no idea at this point. So we are awaiting more information from Boise State. All we know is the statement the Mountain West put out, and then Wyoming kind of confirming this was a late matter. Wyoming's tweet said the COVID concerns were late this morning. So the game was scheduled to tip off at 2 o'clock, late morning. It was sometime in the 10, 11 a.m. range, I guess. Boise State, again, did not arrive to the arena. That is kind of all we know at this point. There were, expected to be a game today. Fans were filing in. The Wyoming was there. Boise State just didn't show up for the game, and so they had some sort of concern with COVID-19 that kept them back at their hotel, and they never made it over. They were in Laramie. They did charter to Laramie, spent the money on a charter flight yesterday. We're expected to charter home today. But if they got some test, Colin, where somebody has it or something, they might have a player now quarantining in a Laramie, Wyoming hotel room for a week or two.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation, and obviously you hope for the best. But something I did look up actually is, so someone asked about will they get a loss, and no, they won't get a loss if it's postponed. So if they are able to reschedule it, obviously they'll play it. But if not, it's just declared a no contest. So
and
no
that was
something
that was changed recently in the last week or two. Originally, it was going to be a forfeit, but since there were so many games happening, a lot of these leagues changed the protocols. It was going to be a forfeit up until, like I said, up until recently. And then they decided, that they wanted to change. There were too many games getting canceled, and a lot of the leagues around the country are changing that policy and now declaring it a no contest. So it just won't go into their record. And then you take your conference winning percentage is what's going to decide the conference standings at the end of the year. The conference winning percentage is what's going to decide it. That's how it was last year. They will attempt to probably, try to find a way to make it up at some point. Maybe when Wyoming comes here, but I doubt that they're going to want to, give up that home game. So again, last year when they did this, they actually had an extra week built into the schedule for COVID postponements before the Mountain West tournament. They don't have that this year. So unless they send all the teams down to Vegas early and make up some games down there, I don't know what's going to happen, but you have, now multiple games being canceled. It's going to impact the league standings again. So we're, back, unfortunately, Colin, going in a wrong direction, like we were, last year at some point. So it's, obviously not good, and we'll keep tracking it. We don't have much more information at this point than what we've told you. Again, Boise State has not released any information. We will update the story at BroncoNationNews.com when we get it. We will have all of our social media channels, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, will all be updated with whatever is happening in terms of any statements that come out, any additional news. And again, the story at BroncoNationNews.com is available and free for all, even non-subscribers. So go to BroncoNationNews.com, continue to go there throughout the day. We will update the story with the latest, but that's about all we have right now. We don't have any more information, Colin, except that this is we're ready for some New Year's Day basketball, and unfortunately we're not going to get it.
Yeah, and we definitely were ready, and you just got to look forward and see what happens next once we get more information, and hopefully they're not playing 3 or 4 games in a week down the stretch when it gets into crunch time, but just see how the schedule really turns out.
Kaysen says, thanks, guys. Appreciate you jumping on so quick. Well, we were about to be going live anyway for the pregame show. Thankfully, we hadn't started yet, and appreciate you saying that, Kaysen.
Everything was all ready.
Yeah, we have notes. We have videos. We got 5 videos of Leon Rice we were ready to show. We were ready to do a full pregame show. Lithia Florida Boise pregame show powered on the road by Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. We were ready to give you a full show. So much for all of our prep work that we put in. Colin, appreciate you cutting up the videos that now will never be seen. I've always thought about maybe writing a book someday with all the stories that never made it to print. I've got so many stories I've had to copy and delete because a team scores a late bucket or a late field goal and the other team wins. And I've got so many stories and things that have never seen the light of the day. I had, stories written about 3 different head coaches getting hired, if it was going to be Kellen Moore or this guy, and you want to be ready to post it. And there's so much that never sees the light of day in this business because you got to be prepared. And this was one of those ones where we had videos ready to go. We had interviews. You went down there, was that Thursday, and talked to Coach Rice, and we had a full story up about how tough it is to win on the road in the Mountain West. And we were all ready to bring that to you. And then, we're literally less than 5 minutes away from going live probably. And we're doing our final rundown, making sure we're in. And then all of a sudden, I just see an email come through from the Mountain West saying the game's off. It happens that quick. And again, less than 30 minutes prior to tip-off, which means it was, some sort of late concern. I don't know if they tested yesterday, got them back this morning. Just not exactly sure the timing here, Colin. But again, we'll keep tracking it. We're going to keep being on it for Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com. Appreciate all of our sponsors, Lithia Florida Boise, ICCU. Appreciate everybody else for watching this. This has unfortunately been the most attended pregame show we've had, and it's not even a pregame show. It's a show for a game that was canceled. So, Colin, difficult one here, but we're going to wrap this up. Again, BroncoNationNews.com will have live continued coverage throughout the day. Make sure you're following all the social media channels of BroncoNationNews.com, Bronco Nation News, BNN, Bronco Nation on Twitter, Bronco Nation News on Facebook. We got an Instagram account as well, and we will do our best to update as best we can with information throughout the day. Boise State will not play Wyoming today, and we'll find out more throughout the day, and we'll have you covered. BroncoNationNews.com. He's Colin Mitchell. My name is BJ Rains. Appreciate you guys for checking us out, and have a great rest of your New Year's Day if you can. Unfortunately, no basketball today. There's still some football on, and we'll keep tracking this and try to get more information for you. Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com.
Welcome back to the Blue, Albertson Stadium, home of your Boise State Broncos, the bastion of Bronco Nation, a field of dreams where greatness has become a tradition. Whether you're new to Idaho and this is your first game, or your family has had season tickets for 3 generations, Lithia Ford of Boise wants you to know you're welcome here.